All right, great guys. So welcome to your pre-challenge info webinar. This webinar is for both participants that are signed up to the program and you're ready to go for Monday, and for some of you that are here to listen in, and you might be listening in on recording or you're joining us live today to find out more about this challenge, to ask any questions that you have. And it's a day and an opportunity for you guys to really get all those questions answered and really have us all prepared for day one of the program. Really manage how the first expectations are on how the first week, first couple of weeks, first month, and how the 90 days will go for our challenge. So we'll go through it, and as we go through, if you have any questions, please do ask. And really, one of my commitments of this webinar was something that we never used to do, and it was only created about 2 or 3 challenges ago, when we got a query from one of the participants or one of the challenges where everybody was really raving to go, and they just wanted to get some more comfort and some more preparation before their challenge started. And we've now done, I think, 7 or 8 challenges. I think is probably our 8th or 9th. This might be our 9th or 10th actually. So we've done a number of challenges. We've had hundreds of lives impacted and transformed as a result of this program. And it is delivered all online. The difference, I guess, with what we do is that we are a bit more interactive, so you get to speak with us and communicate with us and be part of the community over 90 days. But one thing I want people on this webinar or listening on the recording to get is, if you're looking to find out about the challenge and you haven't yet signed up, it's an opportunity for you to ask any questions about how it works. And if you have already signed up, I really, really want to share with you, what is it, because we've looked back at so many participants and majority get phenomenal results, majority. And what is it that causes those results, right? So there are certain traits that we've seen come out of their participation, and I'm going to share those with you. And then I'm going to share with you some of the things that inhibits people from getting results. So I'm going to just talk through that a bit rather than, there isn't per se a slide on that. So let's get started. And if you have any questions, there's an opportunity for you to raise your hand at your end. So if you raise that hand, then I can unmute you to ask a question. In the interim, can I ask you, if you're not speaking, to put yourselves on mute so that there's no background noise for the other participants? Okay, so you can put yourselves on mute. All right. To set context, can I just check everyone can see my screen first of all?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Okay, so to set context about why we exist, I want to kick off with this beautiful quote by the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama, when asked what surprised him most about humanity, answered man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money, and then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he's so anxious about the future, he does not enjoy the present, the result being he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he is never going to die, and then dies having never lived. I'm a very, very big believer in, we have one life, we have one body, what is it going to be? And it took me a piercing moment in my life to bring this turnaround. And I went through this experience where I lived a life pursuing this money at the expense of my health when I was in banking. So talking of that, is it okay if I share with you, those of you, some of you know, some of you may not know, I'd love to share with you my background and my journey from going from a fat banker to FITBANKER. Where did this organization FITBANKER come from? But how did I, and what triggered my transformation? So I'm just going to go through it quickly for those of you that aren't aware. Many of you are aware. So I worked in the city, and I worked in banking and finance for just about 12 years, just over 12 years. And I worked for a great bank called JP Morgan. And it was a great lifestyle. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. Beautiful job, great career, great prospects of, ongoingly for me. I used to travel the world between here, New York, across Europe, and it was brilliant. We used to have a great lifestyle that afforded us loads of socials, parties, with bank colleagues, outside bank colleagues, and very grateful for that. However, part of that lifestyle, the long hours and the overindulgence in food, in alcohol, and the long hours causing me the inability to prioritize my health, or I chose not to make time, ended up in me being a fat banker. So this was me kind of about the year or the year before I left banking. And what was great was, while you see me here, I'm smiling, I realized that underneath this person that turned out to be this fat banker was somebody who internally believed, you know, I've got it. I had so much belief in myself. But I think in hindsight, when I look back, a lot of that belief was based on the brand that I worked for. That's what boosted my confidence, or the salary that I earned, or the bank balance that I had. And I was able to disguise my self-esteem through my sense of humor, or through all these material assets that I owned. But internally, there's a saying I distinguished with somebody was, you know, it's not that, and I speak for myself, so I don't speak for anybody else here, but I speak for myself. It's not that fat people don't have high self-esteem. It's that people that don't have high self-esteem end up not prioritizing their body or their health, and the outcome is the effect of having low self-esteem. So in this program and at the start of it, one of the big things we're going to focus and emphasize to people is that you've got to have a massive, massive love for yourself the way you are. Now, while I was at the peak of my banking career, like I said, I lived the life that lifestyle and money could afford. This is a picture from Fringe Festival in 2013. I was there with my wife. We were 9 months married. We were celebrating my wife's birthday, and it was a double celebration. We were actually celebrating we were expecting a baby, and we were 3 months pregnant, and we couldn't have been more happier. The future looked absolutely phenomenal, and I thought life couldn't get any better. Here I am, beautiful wife, beautiful career, successful in whatever ways I judged it then. Yet what was happening was, while we were there, everything turned around 180 degrees as we began the onset of a miscarriage. And we lost our baby, and in that moment, all that material wealth that I had, all that bank balance could make no difference and could do nothing to turn around that situation. And I guess subconsciously, it ingrained in me a seed around how important health is and how much control we actually do or do not have over it. Many people say health is something you cannot control, and you cannot control it if you've not been controlling your lifestyle up to the point when your health goes out of control. If we do create a lifestyle that we own and control, then we do control our health. What then happened is, the following day on our way back from Edinburgh, as a result of me stressing, I ended up in A&E. I had these heart palpitations, and I remember telling my wife that night, you know what, I'm just going to drink some water, do some deep breathing, and I'll sleep it off. And she immediately screamed. She says, there's no way I'm going to sleep waking up tomorrow having lost another one. And it really, really hit me in that moment that my health, or who I was not about me, but that others, there are other lives and other beings that bank on my fitness. And what happened was then hence the name FITBANKER. I then spent a host of months trialing every diet, every exercise regime, going really all out. And at this point, I was overweight. When you train excessively, when you're overweight with high intensity, it's a great way of causing injury to your joints, to your knees, to your back. And I learned a lot of things the hard way, but I learned a lot of it through self-discovery. A good portion of it was about a year, and in a whole year, I was only able to lose about 8 kilos in one whole year. And then I eventually started, as I played with various diets, nutrition, and mindset coaching, so shifting my relationship to food and shifting my relationship to exercise, part of what we incorporate into the program, I then started to lose 5.5 kilos a month. And I was like, wow, this is really working with the right balance of this system. And then one day online on Facebook, I saw this health transformation program, and well, some friends were doing it, and they're very successful entrepreneurs, and they run these coaching bodies. And I decided to throw my hat in. I said, guys, I want to be part of this challenge, because I kind of was already seeing results. So I thought I could give these guys a good run for their money. And they said, sure, post your photo. So I posted this photo on the left, 27 January 2015. So, you know, we just now under 2 years ago. And in 90 days, the geezer on the right is what emerged. And I couldn't believe it myself. I really, really didn't expect when I started what will possibly turn out in 90 days at the age of 35. I was 35 years old at this time, and I had this limiting belief that after 30s, your metabolism slows down. But I stuck to the system. I followed what I designed, and I had absolute conviction in it. I focused on my actions. I focused on my habits. I did not focus every day on the scale and looking in the mirror. Yes, we do regularly check those in, and yes, we will explain how frequently to do that on our program, basically about once a week. But what matters is sticking to the actions, trusting the system. I'll explain a bit more about the system as we go on to what works, because I'm really committed on this webinar. Every one of you that has already signed up, very clear from now what it will take to cause amazing results. You've already taken a phenomenal leap, and I really want to acknowledge you guys just for signing up. Those of you that have posted your before photos already, well done on doing that. All right, we're going to talk a bit more about that. And after I did this, what happened was on social media and led to a flurry of people reaching out to me. What did you do? What did you eat? How did you train? And I said, you know what? Let me give this a go. And after I'd caused this transformation, I was like, okay, let me see if people would be open to me mentoring or coaching them for 90 days. And that was the birth of FITBANKER. So after my challenge, I went on to reduce body fat percentage. I went on to increase my strength. I went on to increase my energy levels. And that was the birth of FITBANKER. So the first program began in June of 2015. Since then, we have had people participate from across 15 countries. We've had people participate, close to 200 people have signed up to and participated in our programs. We've had people from all professions. We've had doctors, we've had moms, we've had engineers, we've had banking professionals, we've had teachers, we've had people from literally all walks of life. We've had people as young as 16-year-olds and as old as 70-year-olds. So I'm going to show you a bit about what's possible. Those people that participated in our programs, and if you follow the system, trust the system, we'll talk about what's possible. This is Dr. Diksha Patel. She's from the US in San Francisco. She signed up to a challenge, and I remember, and I'm very grateful for her. And when she signed up, I was like, oh my God, a doctor has signed up. And will I be tested on our science? Will I be tested on our methodology? Will I be tested on the advice or the guidelines or the recommendations that we're offering? I remember she came and did one program, and in that first challenge, she had an injury. She had to discontinue. In the second time, she came back on an encore program, and she's like, all right, you just tell me everything. And in 90 days, this is what we caused, 9.1 kilos lost. Then we had a mom who joined us post-pregnancy for 9 years after, post-marriage or starting a career. She was so focused on a career. For 9 years, she just piled on weight. After she had a baby, it didn't go off. It stayed on. And she did our program, and she lost 19 pounds in 90 days. She's a dentist, and she also recommends a lot of what she heard and discovered on our program is great as well for the teeth from a sugar and acid perspective, which is brilliant. We'll talk about that more during the program. Then there's Alyssa. Ellie's on our campus as well, and she's somebody who has done a couple challenges. In one challenge, she's lost 11.3 kilos, right? And she was simply amazing, trusting in the system and being herself. And something she really kept sharing that she got is that she got to discover doing anything she wanted to do. She's an actress, and she wants to get back into acting, and she has got back into acting. But above all, she just discovered her leadership and joined us on a number of treks and adventure. And there's loads of you who will discover the same during your 90 days. You will not go out this program the same person if you start taking on the new sets of habits that we recommend. Then we have what I call the fit doctors. I mean, these two doctors, they met me. They came down to London for a TED talk. We caught up for a dinner after that. They asked me on how on earth I did it, and I met them that day, and I just gave them a list of steps to start taking. Within 3 or 4 weeks, they started seeing results. They immediately signed up to the next available program, which was last January. These guys are absolutely contagious on social media. I'm sure every day you will see on Facebook, I'm tagged in the guy on the left, Sijo. He's always tagging me as he's in the gym. He's a great sharer. He lost 53 pounds. He lost 53 pounds. Not in the 90 days, slightly over, because remember, it started earlier after our conversation. But both of them now are inspiring role models as health leaders. Previously, they were a lot more overweight, and I found it quite ironic. Not that we judge. Part of our values is we never judge people. But they would go out and coach on health, and yet they were overweight, they were stressed, and when they did our program, they get to transform themselves. And we absolutely love them, really grateful for them, and I'm just grateful that we have people like doctors take on our program and trust in it and cause these results to go on to contribute to and inspire others. Then we have Rebecca, phenomenal. She lost 33 pounds or 15 kilos. She did a couple challenges. I think overall she lost that in about 4.5 to 5 months. She's since gone on to lose, I think, up to 17 or 18 kilos. And she's just awesome. She had massive shifts in her leadership. She joined us for a number of treks that we do. We do treks every 6 to 8 weeks. She had a massive shift in her confidence. She's had breakthroughs since in other areas, not necessarily saying it's due to our program, but a lot of people go on to do stuff because of the enhanced confidence. She shifted countries and careers, and she's in a great relationship, and we just absolutely love and grateful for the contribution. She had a whole circle of her friends sign up to the next program and join her, and she was a great leader on our program, inspiring many to take on their transformation. This is David Kavanagh. He was one of the people that signed up to our first programs. Again, he was a great sharer, always sharing him being in action, videos and live videos and photos while he was out on his walks in Amsterdam. He moved countries, he changed jobs, a host of things happened during his challenge. That was only 45 days, those photos, right? And he went on to lose, I think, about 11 or 12 kilos, so average of about a kilo a week he lost. And that's very normal in our program. Those of you that are looking for weight loss, some of you are not here for just weight loss, some of you are here to increase your energy and increase your strength. And even for that, we'll share a lot of the results that participants get to cause. That's Andrew Walker. Andrew is with us. Andrew has joined. He's anchoring. Andrew, are you there? You're on mute?
Oh, no.
Hello.
Hey, Andrew.
No, I'm unmuted. Hi.
All right. So as you can see, Andrew lost 20 pounds. And I don't know, Andrew, do you want to say anything? What would you say caused the results for you?
Honestly, I think the team element. You know, I've often tried to lose weight on my own and give up. And so being inside the campus and all the, once we got into teams, but also, the wider group, or I should say team via social media, as I mentioned on our chat earlier today. I really think that was the key to success, because I couldn't give up. I had a lot of people counting on me to keep going.
Awesome. Amazing. We're going to talk about that as we go through because the feedback you're giving us is also what we get from people when we distinguish what was it that caused people's results. And I think I'm very grateful and humbled that we're actually able to cause such effective and impactful results just over social media. Like, we are almost entirely online, other than we are all online. We don't meet our participants necessarily. People that join treks are optional, whether on or off the challenge. Anybody's invited to them. They're free for FITBANKER participants. They are at fee for those that are not. But every 6 to 8 weeks we do a lovely trek, and this year we also have a number of retreats coming up. But I'm really grateful and humbled with this system that it makes a difference online. So I'm sharing this with you guys because it matters. Those of you that are new, trust the system. Those of you that are considering, this really makes a difference, and you can see the results that are being caused. Now, this is just some of them. I'll go on to share more. This is a guy we met in South Africa, Hanish Patel, and him and his wife. I remember when they signed up, they said, we have a young kid. We don't know if we can do this. I'm concerned. How will I be able to do this? Do we have to cook different food for my kids, for me, for my husband? And they were very skeptical, because I went to South Africa to give a talk, and I remember them checking me out on Facebook and doing a bit of due diligence, at least so I thought, and they were very hesitant before paying for it, because what if I was this international guy that's come to South Africa giving a talk, and people sign up and I disappear with their cash. And they took a punt on me, and I remember both him and his wife, they got phenomenal results, and they were in action. I think he lost close to 17 kilos. He didn't know what it felt like to be under 100 kilos for a very long time. He started off at 112, 113 kilos, and he ended the challenge around about 94 kilos, and it's gone on to reduce since. And they just, they've shifted the life and energy and health of their child by them participating in the program. So there's a lot of results. There's a number of other people. I haven't got everyone's photos here. You've seen our cover photo on the page is Emma Coyne. Emma is also part of our team. And those of you that are already on the challenge, you've already interacted with her on the chat. Those of you that are looking to join, when you do join, you will feel her presence on campus. And Emma, just grateful to always have you in our team. Really looking forward as well to your ongoing contribution and inspiration to all the participants. So thank you for being part of the team. But here are some of my favorite ones. There are many, but I want to share with you some because we're very clear that we stand for health. This is one of our recent participants, Manisha, or Vaimani. She just signed up to the last challenge. I remember she reached out to me saying, hey, tell me about your program, this, that, the other. I said, well, this is it. And she asked me 1 or 2 challenges at a go. And when I told her about it, she said, well, I'm tight on cash. I don't think I can do this. I have a lot of stuff going on. And one of them was medical and medical insurance bills that she had to pay. And I said, how would you like it if in 90 days from now, you'd pay for this program, but you'd actually make a saving in what you spend on other stuff, on unhealthy foodstuffs, and possibly on your medical bills? And she took a punt. She signed up to it. She just had a baby, and as a result, she was pre-diabetic from gestational diabetes. When she signed up to the program, the doctor said, it looks like now you're headed for type 2 diabetes. She signs up to a program, and she already started being in action a few days before, like many of you who've signed up already are. And I think by day 10, day 15, day 20, by day 30 or so, within the first month, she went to the doctors, and they said, actually, your blood sugar now has totally changed. They had to test her twice. They said, are you sure? What's going on? What are you taking? What are you doing? And she said, I've signed up to this program called the FITBANKER Challenge. Over the course of the program, she lost, I think, don't know, it was 29 pounds or something like that. And she is now pre-diabetes free. She is also low cholesterol. And it was a very emotional post she put where she was giving away her packs of insulin jabs and injections and everything, all that she'd spent on that she no longer needed to spend on. And it was really moving to see the health impact we can make. That's one of them, tackling diabetes. Another one was this lovely lady. She signed up from Zambia, and her name is Ushma, and she was a mom when she signed up, but after having her first child, she had put on a lot of weight, and it kept on adding up. And she wanted to try again. Her and her husband were trying again for a baby, and they went through a period where they were struggling, and they chose to go the IVF route. And as they chose to, the doctors said, well, you're still overweight, you need to lose a lot more weight. And so she tried, she wrote to us on a blog, I tried every pill, potion, lotion, every diet program that's out there, and in a whole year, she was only able to lose about 3 or 4 kilos. She went back to the clinic, and the clinic said, sorry, we can't start, you're still overweight. She signs up to our program, and in 90 days, she lost 12.8 kilos. Before her challenge completed, about 3 weeks before, she was already approved to start her IVF process, and she now has 2 twin babies. She started last January, so exactly 1 year ago she started a challenge, and now she has, within that year, she's given birth to twins, and she now has 2 beautiful twins and her first daughter that are now about 2 months old, which is just simply humbling in terms of the health impact we make. And finally, my favorite story is my dad. 70 years old, he came here to the UK on what he thought was a holiday year and a half ago, last August, and when he came in, I took him and mum to the gym, put them on the fat scales, looked at their fat percentage, and had a very heart-to-heart conversation with mum and dad, saying, I never got to know my granddad, my dad's dad, because he passed away when my dad was 21 from diabetes. And I was very clear to my dad that I wanted him to be around for my child. At that time, we weren't expecting a baby. We were struggling with conceiving, and I was committed that my dad works on improving his health and prolonging his life. And I was also committed to demonstrating that this program can work for anyone regardless of your age, location, and whether you are tech friendly or not. And my dad is 70 years old, brand new to Facebook. He signs up to the program, he does it, and he lost overall from 90 kilos, high on cholesterol, on a high BP medication. He went from 90 kilos down to 72.5 at the age of 70. He never used to walk more than 2 or 3 kilometers. He'd be out of breath. Now he can do 5 to 7 kilometers a day, and he does it very actively. And he is now, the doctors have told him to discontinue his statins for high cholesterol and his high BP medication. And he says to me, because of you, I've added years to my life. So very grateful for that, but our focus is very clearly on health, and we are not about body image. We don't judge people based on body and how they feel. We focus on the health impact. So that's some of the results. Now, how do we cause these phenomenal results? What really causes them? How do we get people to do this? So for that, I'm going to share with you, first of all, a bit about what we are and what we're not. So if you have questions, please ask them now as we go through the following slides. So what we are is we're very simply an education system, and we exist online, right? We provide education on health, fitness, nutrition, and mindset. And you've seen the phenomenal results that work and what they're caused by. And we are continually educating and developing ourselves along the way. So if there's some new science, there's some new research, if foods that we said were not recommended, we now find there's a change in their composition, we update our recommendations on our program. So, you know, you're always getting something that's live and relevant. And we're very committed to developing leaders. We want people to learn our program, to be the example, and to share their journey along the way. There's a very big power in sharing. Many of you have signed up. In fact, all of you have possibly signed up because someone shared with you, somebody you know, you've seen their photos and the results, and you were curious, and that led to you taking action. That was their leadership, and it was your leadership to reach out, to inquire about this, or to reach out to our page, right? So there's a very big power of sharing and developing leaders that we're committed to. We will talk about that. What we are not, we're very clearly not a gym. We are not offering personal training, even though I'm a qualified personal trainer and I'm a nutritionist. We're not offering nutritional advice, so we're not treating or diagnosing any symptoms or conditions. When you do sign up, those of you that have completed your questionnaire, thank you very much for that. Well done. Those of you that are yet to sign up, you will complete the questionnaire. If you have any conditions you need to let us know about, you let us know on that questionnaire, and we will tell you whether to avoid certain foods, or we will incorporate in your meal plans or training programs things to avoid. What we do have on our campus or within our team, myself as a personal trainer and nutritionist as well, we have other people on the campus that are medical professionals. There's 7 or 8 medical doctors who've done the program, and they're part of our closed group and campus. There are also naturopaths on that group. There are also mindset coaches and life coaches on this group. There's also my wife who supports us, and she's trained as a transformational life coach, and she's also going to be leading some of the calls or webinars. And then there's also Emma, who is also just a phenomenal being, and she also gets to contribute, and she's continually learning and developing on our content and supporting most of you. First of all, you should put your safety first. Whenever you do join a gym or any exercise you do, you're owning that, you're responsible for that. Your gym also has clauses and conditions, and it has its own risk assessment process before you do join the gym. So if you're unclear on anything, if you're unclear on any food types, run them past us, ask us your questions, but do be mindful before you embark on anything that you're uncertain about. You can always reach out and ask. But at any point in time, you're responsible. If you're uncertain, if it has a health issue or impact, please reach out to your medical professional, right? That's not what we're here for. We are here to provide the education. Implementing the education is what causes the results. So that said, over the program, we're going to develop what we call 4 main muscle groups. I'm going to very quickly talk about how this program works. You don't need to read the small print in detail, but talk about it to you very high level. Our education is different in that it's not theory. It is not delivered one-off. It is ongoing and interactive, and it is experiential. So it works when you take on the theory, when you trial the activities or take on the experience we invite you to take on, and your learning will occur at 3 levels of your mind. The conscious, which is what we tell you to do, what you know you're doing, and you do it. There is the subconscious, which is we will be seeding things for you throughout the program. We will be asking you to take on certain habits. While there might be physical activities you take on, and when you do them repetitively, you build an emotional and mental muscle, and that gets ingrained in your subconscious. And then there's your unconscious mind. There will be things you will shift and start doing that you didn't know you were capable of doing. We ask people in the questionnaire, what one new activity would you take on? We ask people through our webinars to sign up to something they cannot do. Some of the stuff we will coach you on may occur as a bit woo-woo, where we will say, what I mean by woo-woo, we'll say, put your word out there about what you're up to, then go and fill the gap. You know, Richard Branson says, when there's a business opportunity, first say yes, then go and fill the gap in between, whether or not you have the resources and the ability at hand. That's what you guys have done that have signed up. You've said, yes, I'm here to transform my health, and you don't know how. And we're going to give you the tools and the education. And as you implement that, you've seen the results that are possible. Those will be outcomes. So we'll be building these 4 muscles, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, across the course of this program. So what really causes results? So we already heard from Andrew share what caused his transformation in the last challenge. We're going to share what we've seen from all the other participants and the testimonials that we've received, and some of them are on our website. Trust the system. It works, right? We have had people come on the challenge, and you know what they do from day one? Really important you get this. I've had people sign up to the challenge, and for the first 7 to 10 days, they basically were eating 1 meal a day. They stopped eating. And nowhere in our program do we say stop eating, right? There are people that think this is diet. We actually hate the word diet. I hate the word diet. Because it's been misinterpreted. People think diet means eat less. We are not about eat less. If you ever see me, if you ever bump into me, I am carrying snacks in my bag, in my pocket, or if you see me working somewhere, I'm working with snacks and drinks on the table. I am always snacking. We say eat more frequently, but eat quality stuff that is adding value, and there is a need and necessity to your body. We'll teach you about what's called functional eating. So trust the system. In webinar 2 and webinar 3, we will cover that and how that shifts and impacts your metabolism and how it's going to cause results for you. So please trust the system. You've seen people do it before you. Follow our program, right? While you're doing our program, yes, you can hire a personal trainer in your gym. Yes, you can join a boutique gym that you want if you want to do it. But a bulk of what will cause the shift, even in that gym, is how you do what they tell you based on our principles. It's what you eat outside of that 1 hour you spend elsewhere or in the gym. It's what you do in that 1 hour in the gym. It's the mindset, how you relate to food. Many of us are eating food because it's a source of comfort. We will explain to you where that comes from. Many of us eat emotionally, right? It's a response to stress. It's a response to concern. It's a response to worry. We will shift that over the 90 days. Trust the system. The second one is declaration and sharing. I've already spoken about this. You've already seen it. I've got Barak's picture here because it's quite timely. Yesterday, he gave his farewell speech. I love how he connected that to what he declared at the beginning. Yes, we can, and yes, we did. And he also demonstrated all that he accomplished in the 8 years, way more than he said he would accomplish at the start of his 8 years. There were also things he declared at the start of his 8 years that he didn't accomplish, right? But that happens. Some of you may not accomplish everything that you want. You may not get the 6-pack that you want. You might get it in your second challenge or third challenge. Some of you may get it in 60 days, like many of our participants have, or whatever it is you're declaring. It might be your speed. You might want to get sub 30 minutes in running 5 kilometers or whatever it is. But you have to first declare and put something at stake. It's why we have a necessity to post a before photo. Those of you that have already done it, I, for not 1 second, never underestimate what it takes to do that. But that's something very unique about our program. That's something that causes phenomenal results because you put a big declaration out there. The second one is sharing. You know, this is the spiritual muscle that you will start building. we tell people that thoughts are power. Now think about it this way. That guy Sijo, that doctor, Dr. Sijo Parakatil, one of those fit doctors, every day he's posting about him being in the gym. Every single day. Maybe 6 days a week. You will see a photo, you will see my timeline with him tagging me in his photos. He shares about 4 or 5 times a week, 5 or 6 times a week. And when he's sharing, all of us viewing it must be thinking he is a pretty fit guy. He is a pretty healthy guy. Now that's the power of thought. The way we think of him, he shows up inside of that intention. So the more you share, don't share to show off, but share to inspire others. Because when you inspire others, they think great of you and you show up inside of that space. He lost 53 pounds. He is in his late 40s and he is causing phenomenal results. His before photo looked like he was 56. His after photo looks, and now he even behaves, 27. And I love that about him, and I went for the same. Another one is Muhammad Ali. He used to say, I am the greatest. And he said that even before he knew he was. So when I invite you guys to make declarations and sharing, please always do this as a contribution to other people. Really be authentic with yourself, that as you're about to hit post of a photo, you're doing this because there's a value add to another person. It will inspire them to take action. It will inspire them to see what's possible. It will inspire them as a reminder to say, hey, look, I'm making time to go to the gym. Will you make time too? Don't do it to brag. Don't do it to show off anything. You'll find those shares generally tend to fall flat. The third thing is, this is what Andrew said, community and support, the online team. You know, Jim Rohn has a beautiful quote. Says, you're the average of the 5 people you spend most time with. That was obviously relevant and appropriate for his time and era in the 70s, 80s, 90s. But it is, nowadays, it's you are the average of the 5 people you spend most time with on social media. You know, over the course of my transformation, my circle of friends have slightly changed. And by that, I mean, I'm not unfriending any of my old friends. But what's happened is I am going less out for drinking 3 or 4 times a week. So my mates that are going out for a beer have just stopped inviting me because they know that I probably won't drink. And I stay in touch with them. We're good friends. But we just meet at other venues. They join me on Sunday morning for boot camp. And I also find new friends. I have people that are personal trainers, people that are obstacle course racers, people that run marathons, inviting me to join them. So last year I ran Man versus Mountain, something I couldn't imagine doing. Forget 2 years ago, I couldn't imagine doing it a week before I ran it, because I've never run 20, I think it was like 22 miles or 21 miles. I've never run that on flat ground, but I ran that up Mount Snowdon. I was invited to do that by 3 or 4 mates who've run a number of marathons, and I didn't know that when they invited me. They're personal trainers, they're friends of friends, they've connected with me on social media, and I thought, all right, what the heck, I'll give it a go. I signed up to it. After I signed up to it, then I saw what the race entailed, and it was an absolute killer, but I did it because my community around me shifted. I'm with people that are greater than me, that are better than me. And I ran with those 4 or 5 people, and I smashed it. I smashed my own expectations. And the support that we get. We have Emma, who really is there, available to support you, inspire you daily. I can count on her for that. Myself, Ambika, my wife, and a host of prior participants who've done it before you will also be there to support and answer your queries. That's why we're building that online community. So you guys are in great hands. You're amongst people that are legends. They've done this before you. The fourth one is goal setting and planning. As we go through the program, we will deliver to you some charts that you can log your starting weight, your starting fat percentage, your starting time for 5-kilometer run. And I invite all of you to do that. Start finding out where you are. Be clear on where you want to get to. There's a saying that most people that are not clear where they're going often get there, which means they get somewhere where they're not clear is. So you want to be very clear what you want to get to, something to work towards. You want to target a fat percentage. I'll share with you on the program what fat percentage you need to get a 6-pack, and that varies based on your gender, that varies based on your age. and from where you are to work towards that. Sorry, there's somebody yawning in the background. If you could put yourself on mute.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. I didn't realise. Sorry about that. I did not mean that to be anything.
All right, no worries.
Oh, gosh, I'm really sorry about that.
Okay, you can put yourself on
silent. Sorry.
Unless you want to share. Okay, and then planning. What I mean by planning is most people's excuse other than money is time. So they say they don't have the time, but we all have 24/7, 365. We all have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And my invite to you guys is to lock in the times that you're going to do. Start creating routines for you. Stick to those routines. So if you know in a week you're going 4 days this week to the gym, block those out. Actually put them in your calendar on your phone, on a chart. If you don't do that, there's a scientifically demonstrated correlation between writing down what you will do or putting it in your phone or in your diary, and greater likelihood that you will go on to do it. So please plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail. And finally, accountability. So what do we mean by accountability? Not that you're to blame or you're responsible, but we asked you guys that are on the program to download some apps. There are a number of apps, but here's 2 of them I'll talk about now. So Runkeeper is an app where you're going to record your actions, being in action, your activity. We will talk about this more on the webinar 1, which is next week Tuesday. So I hope next week Tuesday you have in your diary. When you're outdoors and walking, you should make sure your GPS is on so it tracks you and maps you. And then you can also connect it to Facebook, and you can share it to Facebook, and you can put hashtag FITBANKER or FBX90, and we will see it. Also on Runkeeper, you can go to friends and add me, which is called FitBanker there. Also MyFitnessPal. You want to go to setup there, set up your age, your current weight, your target weight. You can take a screenshot of this, those of you that are watching. Your macro goals is another setting to do. We'll talk about that again in webinar 1, but you want to set this for starting, and we will adjust this again, possibly depending on your age, weight, gender, and your goals. To take in 30% of your macros should be protein, 30% should be fat, and 40% should be carbs. Also your diary. You've got a diary. Very important that you change that. Go diary settings, diary sharing, make it public. Why do we do that? Because then I can view it. I'm not going to be viewing and monitoring what you all eat every day, but when you say, Ronnie, I've now got 3 to 5 days of regular macro tracking, please can you review my food? Am I doing right? Am I doing bad? What can I improve? You have to ask me. I'll require your leadership reaching out to me to ask me, and I will then go in and look at your diary. You need to add me as a friend. You need to make it public. Then I will be able to see it, and I can give you feedback. Also add FitBanker. Please take on the assignments, the challenges, and sharing what you're doing out there, so people really get connected to what you're up to, be inspired by you, and we get to transform 1 billion lives. We're all about health, and we're all about shifting mindsets globally. And finally, this is a photo from Tough Mudder. I don't know who or how many of you have done Tough Mudder, but this exercise is called Pyramid Scheme. And what we do is, to climb up, we have people that go ahead of us, and they lie down, like you can see that lady there. We then climb on top of them, and we stand on their shoulders, and then we turn around and we start lifting the next batch of people above us till they get to the top, and then at the top they hang over the top and they reach out to us and they pull us up. That's effectively how this program works. All of you are here on this program because someone went ahead of you and they pulled you up here. So my invite to you guys is to be that somebody up there for others in your life. If you want to invite your husband, if you want to invite your partners, if you want to invite your friends to do this with you, my invite is to reach out to them to pull them up now. The online price goes up on Friday, and the online price now I think is like $249 or something. Those of you that have already signed up, you have a referral code to invite people and have them have 10% off because you are pulling them. What's great with doing it with friends is simply by you inviting and enrolling others to do it, like you're taking a stand for them, you get to perform at a different level because you want them to get the most out of their time and their money and your partnership, and so do you. I only got my results because I made other lives dependent on me, right? So I really invite you to get connected to, you can literally and directly, and in this moment now, think of someone in your world that you can uplift to transform their health, and you guys get to do it together. Whether on this challenge or the next, there will be other challenges, but there's a massive difference doing it together. And I want to leave you with that. I want you guys to be the change you wish to see in the world. All right, guys, that's all that we had for today's info session. Are there any questions? So it's been just over 45 minutes, and this was meant to be between 45 to 60 minutes to allow time for any questions. Are there any questions any of you have? And I can go back to any slide if you'd like to see.
This is Nikki.
Yes.
Can I just say, it's not really a question, but I'm full-heartedly inspired, and I can't wait to begin. So thank you for this introduction.
Thank
it's
you.
Really great.
Thank you for reaching out and your leadership to sign up. And I'll just acknowledge whoever stood for you, whoever the person at the top was that pulled you up. Just acknowledge them, right? Mark. And my invite to you is really get committed and connected to the leader that you are, because you will be the person inspiring many.
Sure, brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any questions? Let's go through. Eunice.
Hi, Ron. It's Marion.
Yeah. Sorry, who was that?
Marion.
Hi, Marion.
Marion.
Yes.
I mean, it's awesome stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited. I'm just worried about the first couple of weeks to start on my own and not really knowing what I need to do.
Great. So the first couple of weeks, what will happen is you will get, thank you for asking that. Everybody that has signed up on Saturday, you will get an email. And in that email, there will be what's called foundational level of exercise and activity. Actually, thank you so much for asking that, because I want to manage expectations of what to expect in the first 2 weeks. So we will give you a foundational level of exercise and activity to do. So a minimum amount of, say, walking or cardio or gym, and we will tell you a list of foods to avoid. In the first 5 weeks of the program, there will be certain foods you have to avoid till week 5, and then on the 5th weekend, you can eat what you want, you can trash your body for a day, and then you tell me what you feel like after you've been clean for 5 weeks. And then we will go back onto the clean food again. But we need you to, in the first 5 weeks, about boosting your metabolism. Being in action, following it by design, you will shift your metabolism and body like never before. In the first 2 weeks, we obviously have webinars both weeks, so we will be providing you content. The first week's webinar is on a Tuesday, the second week is on a Monday, and thereafter it's on Tuesdays. And there are certain breaks, so please check the date sheet that was sent to you. Those that are on the program, it will be sent on the Facebook Messenger. And in the first 10 days, just to manage expectations, because there's a number of you've completed questionnaires, in the first 10 days we're working on preparing your meal plans. So not everyone has the same meal plan, and you guys have different requirements and different goals. And also your training programs are different based on gender, age, and goals. So what we're doing is we're sorting those out, and we get them to send out sometime between day 7 and day 14. So bear with us, because that's where we really need to make sure we're not missing anything, and we give our attention to detail. And if you haven't yet completed your questionnaire, please do it as a matter of urgency. The way our system works is that we kind of batch process, because we use an automated system to distribute them out to people, and we then need to upload data in that system and upload it to send it out. So if any one of you is delaying with the questionnaire, consider that you may be holding back 2, 3, 4, 5 other people, because we will wait for the next 4 or 5 that have done it before we get the batch out. So is there anyone that hasn't done their questionnaire and you'll be doing it before this?
I haven't done it, but I can't recall seeing it anywhere, and I apologise if I've missed it, but I was actually going to put a message on today to ask could it be resent to me. It's Nikki here, Nikki Goodman.
Okay, all right, I'm going to double check that that's been sent out to you, and thanks for letting me know.
Thank you. Sorry if I've missed it.
Thanks. Marion, does that help explain?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I've done the questionnaire, so no, that's fine. It puts my mind at peace a little bit.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm very excited, because It's a very proactive team. We've had about, I think, a dozen people have already completed the questionnaires, which is really good. I just got a message from Jag. She's saying she hasn't yet done it. She'll do it today. She's started. Awesome. Thank you. And please do with Sunil as well. Any other questions? Or anything anyone wants to say or share or introduce themselves?
Hi, Ronnie. It's Andrew. Just a quick question for those who might be looking at this challenge as an opportunity to gain weight, to gain muscle, etc. Can you explain a bit? Because I know there's a big focus on losing weight, as has been my experience, but I know there's others that might have different goals.
Yeah. So high level, I'll explain this. So there are people. We have a lot of people generally that join to lose weight. There are people that want to gain weight, and we want you, those of you that want to gain weight, would want to gain weight that's healthy weight, which means predominantly muscle and a good level of fat. One of the biggest differences is, well, twofold. In what's different is the type of foods for people that want to gain weight. There will be good fats that we will recommend. There will also be a certain level of protein that they have to take. And while people that want to lose weight, that mainly two types of exercise. We talk about that in webinar 2 or 3. One is cardiovascular activity, which is a high heart rate causes the fat burn in our body and boosts our metabolism. Then there's resistance training or anaerobic exercise. So somebody that wants to gain weight will be in their program, they will have to do more anaerobic exercise, more resistance training. Depending also on their body type, if they're very lean, if they're by default very naturally lean, the pace at which they work out needs to be very, very slow. So the number of seconds in a rep for somebody who is a lean ectomorph and has a very high metabolism and struggles to put on weight, they will have to be training very slowly, what we call slow-mo reps. And the timing of their protein intake cannot be messed with. If they train, if they have an intense 1-hour training, they must take on protein within 30 to 45 minutes. They have very high metabolism, so their body will very quickly go to work in rebuilding, very quickly go to to burning food, so it will burn carbs. They can have a slightly higher percentage of carbs. We will give the macro guidelines for anyone that joins what they should be, and what kind of carbs as well, because bad carbs are still bad carbs even if you have a lean body. And also bad fats to avoid. So that's the main difference, but we've had a number of people that have come on to get more definition and that to increase strength, and we've had all body types that have come on to do that. Great. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks. Jag has a question. Jag, you can also unmute yourself, but I'm reading your comments, which is saying, saying Sunil has done it, has done the questionnaire. Yep, I've seen that. Do we have recipes? We do share recipes. It's not part of the program, but we do have participants share their own recipes. Sometimes we share. We will be incorporating recipes or releasing a list of a book of recipes at some point. It's still work under progress, so we'll be doing that. What we do provide is recipes for smoothies. So we have about 6 or 7 smoothie recipes. If you are already joined the closed campus, if you go to the section called Files and Photos, you will see a number of recipes for smoothies and other recipes there. You can go and download those, you can save those, you can go by them. But there are certain smoothies we're going to have to start taking at least 4 to 5 days a week, depending on whether you want to lose weight or gain weight. And there are some smoothies that are for weight gainers. So again, to Andrew's question, there are some high protein, high calorie smoothies. Those are not to be taken by people that want to lose weight. So, but generally the 2 main ones that are alkaline in nature, and it's a good mix, which is very low sugar, much lower than any innocent smoothie, much lower than any canned Coke out there. And we will be providing those to you as well. I think it comes in the email on Saturday. So once you get those, you can go Saturday, Sunday shopping to buy your ingredients, and it begins on Monday. So yes, we provide smoothie recipes, but for meals, a lot of participants do. is there a particular time to work out? Sorry, my speaker is not working on my laptop. Got it. That's a question from Jag. Particular time to work out. Different people work out different times. You got to find what works for you. You can go 6 or 7 in the morning. You can go at lunchtime. You can go 11 a.m., 11:30, 1 to 2 p.m. You can go in the evenings. You can go anytime. We would recommend at least an hour in the gym and up to 1.5 hours, depending on the kind of results you want. You do that. When it comes to doing the moderate amount of walking, you don't have to go to the gym. My dad didn't go to a gym. My dad just took on the walking part of it. And we give you some workouts that you can do from home as well. So some HIIT workouts that you can do. You can just go for walks, and we will say, as an example, you have to walk 40 minutes cumulatively a day. The 40 minutes could be 10 in the morning. Even your walk to work or your walk to your tube station counts. It could be 20 after lunch, and it could be 10 or 20 minutes after supper. It's the timing of your walk, how that corresponds to your meals, and you can have that spread out across the day. That's what will cause results. But cumulatively, by end of the day, you must get that time in if you cannot do it all at once. Thanks for asking. All right. Thanks, Jack. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Just another quick question, actually. I know you were talking about either people wanting to lose weight or to put weight on. Also, if it's about my core and my balance, I'm having problems with my core and my balance, not very strong, because I've got multiple sclerosis and my left leg is, I get foot drop, and my balance is all over the place. Can my exercises be catered for trying to be stronger with my balance and so forth?
Is that Nikki?
Yes, it is. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so what you will get in terms of your workout is there will be workout for your general body parts, or what are called your voluntary muscles, so your limbs basically. And then there's also separate workout for your core. So we give you 7 to 8 core exercises, so ab and lower back exercises. Now, you don't do them all at once, because your, I say, it's what I call your abs have a brain of their own, which means they are genius in that if they do something 3 or 4 or 5 days in a row, it stops making a difference after 3 or 4 weeks. So, you have people that say, oh, I do 30 to 40 sit-ups, I'm now going to go up to 70 sit-ups a day, and it's the worst thing. It just stops making a difference. Secondly, when you want to work out your core or lose your belly, most people think it's about sit-ups. Sit-ups do build your ab muscles, but they don't get rid of the subcutaneous fat around your muscles. So for that, what matters is your nutrition and basic level of exercise. So there will be exercises for your abs, and there will be exercises for your lower back, the two of which are your core. In your questionnaire as well, I hope you've explained that to us. So do check any of the exercises.
Yeah, I need to fill it in, yeah. I need to fill it in, but I will do that, of course.
All right, excellent. Just do let us know, and make sure that, any exercise that to you isn't feeling right, you're getting it checked with somebody in the gym, or you get a video, you can share it to us, or check with your medical professional if it's impacting anywhere where you have an injury or any nerve issue. Please do share that. Do check that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, it's 8:30, guys. Do you have any final questions? Otherwise, we'll call it a wrap. Okay. All right, no more questions. I just want to welcome everybody that has joined this webinar. Thank you so much for being on. Looking forward to, well, one last one. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it as we go through. But on day 1, everyone is fired up and charged up, and I want you guys to maintain the enthusiasm till day 90. One of the things that we do is called Pound for Pound, the most generous weight loss program. We've been doing this for most of 2016 and part of 2015, where for every pound lost, we give a pound to a charity called Able Child Africa. And we'll talk a bit more about that. However, in this year, we may have to make a slight change. And the reason is we've been having a lot of people that They do get results, they lose their weight, but then on day 90 they don't complete with integrity, so they don't post their photo. Now, part of the conditions for us to support that charity is we will only give them those that report their results. So my invite to you guys is please give yourselves and your results and your breakthroughs generously, and do share your progress and your photos so that we can keep that up. We may revise how we contribute and support that charity. They support children with less able than, or with disabilities or unique abilities, and and so please do support us with that. The other thing is very easy to start fired up on week 1, week 2, and by week 3 or 4 you have what's called burnout. The secret to results is consistency and moderation. And whenever you miss a day, whenever you make a mistake, whenever you eat something wrong, the last thing you want to do is to make yourself wrong. You just want to be in action. You want to trust the system. You want to get up, dust your knees, and get back on the routine, consistency, and moderation. There is no such thing as perfection, which is dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. That will never happen. Everyone is human, and if we do fall, the support community is there to uplift you again. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll wrap up there, and looking forward to seeing you all get started on the challenge. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye.